What up, ladies? Leon Trotsky here, bringing some more Battlefield 3 gameplay. And quick note is I'm changing my gun from what I usually use, the M4A1, to the M4. Burst fire with a foregrip and heavy barrel there. And there's actually a strategic reason I did that, and it's more for this map. I find that I wanted to use engineer, but I still find myself using more, or at least engaging longer range engagements. It does screw me over at one point, and I forget that I'm using the burst action. You may also recognize the beginning clip of this because it was in my update video, me missing the chopper 100 times, and then I hope you know what's going to come, but I'll leave it as a surprise for any of you that missed the video. This gameplay, however, I'm changing up some things. I hope you guys let me know what you think, actually. I'm speeding up quite a few portions of this gameplay. I'm cutting out a lot of stuff, and I'm actually even breaking this up into two different gameplays. The very end of this game, I'm actually going to make into a separate video. I'm not going to let you know whether we won or lost, and you're going to have to stay tuned to that video. So let me know what you think about that, and let me know what you like about the speeding up and cutting, because this game was different. I'm not usually a big fan of rushing on these large maps. I find that it just gets weird, but it can be fun sometimes. You have to take control when you're a stronger player, and that's one of the things I want to talk about, is becoming a stronger player. But Caspian Border and Karg Island, you gotta get in the tanks as a defender. You gotta have guided shells. You gotta have somebody so flaming. There's things that have to happen for your team to be successful. If they don't, you're gonna get ran over. And at the same time, like, a crazy jet pilot or something like that could easily control this game. That's why I'm not usually a big fan of big rush maps, but it's fun. I like trying to shoot down choppers. This is an interesting engagement. I left this in for a reason, and this is how you use and why I use reactive armor. Reactive armor won me this gunfight. Look at my damage. Look at his damage. I still don't have him disabled, but I know that I have an extra reactive armor panel on my left-hand side. I'm facing my left-hand side. I'm turning to take it in the left-hand side. I know I don't have my repair tool, so I run away, but my tank's going to get blown up. Random RPGs sometimes hit, sometimes miss. Oh my god, that was close. I like shooting RPGs at choppers just as much as I like shooting tank shells at choppers. But yeah, I think that was the instance there that I thought I had the M4A1, but it was actually the M4, and I get mowed down from behind. But good team play protocol is I think I do get picked up here, but we don't get it disarmed. But it's playing the objective. I get picked up. The tank doesn't see me there. I don't quite see the tank before I jump on. The hip fire in this M4 is pretty ridiculous. A lot of things I want to talk about in this gameplay. A couple things I want to point out. Obviously, there's another clip coming up here. Tanking gameplay. You got to know how to use a tank, and that really, there's a lot of players, and I think it's just anybody that plays video games in general think that they are a good player. It takes a lot to hear somebody say, I'm not the best. To hear somebody say, I'm a humble player, you know what I mean? And a lot of players, until they get their shit kicked in, by, people that are just ridiculously good, they don't realize that. And, I'm not calling on anybody in particular, but there's certain people out there that I know, because I have played so much Battlefield, that are just absurdly good at this game. And I know my place in this game. I'm a pretty good player, but I know that I have to use strategies, tactics, and just different stuff in the game. I know I have to use my experience and knowledge in the game to, make up for any skill. And that's the other thing that goes along with skill base in this game, is that skill changes over time. I remember back in Bad Company 2, for example, when I first got that game, I played the shit ton out of it. And it goes the same way in Battlefield 3. When you start taking breaks for games, and especially if you take an extended break of play from any game, it takes a little while getting used to. So it really, consistent play and consistent, map knowledge and awareness goes into what makes a good player. And, being able to, I know that this chopper is going to fly over me. I know my best shot is there. And that's consistently, when I shoot down choppers, it usually looks like that. The chopper flies over me and I hit him as he's flying away. It's a good strategy. It works well. So I would, look at my video. I recommend implementing that. It's just one of those things that you learn over time that happens. It just works well. You saw me miss 100 shots on that chopper in the beginning when he was flying around. And then the first shot, as he's moving, as my gun turret's spinning, it just works. I don't know. It comes from experience, and that's what I think makes a good player, is an experienced player that just has experienced a lot. Look, he missed the C4 Jihad on me. I almost wanted to jump out of the Jeep and teabag him. Watching the minimap for the win. So, another thing I want to point out, if you guys don't know, obviously Project PTFO info is going up, and I'm participating in it. I've been playing a little bit more squad rush and hardcore recently, and I've noticed it been changing my gameplay and the way I play. I've noticed it being, I play a little bit more tactically. I play just different styles. And I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. I'm generally, I don't give a care in the world about my KDR. I'm going to run straight forward. But when I realize that I got to, take a chance to stay up for my team, it's important. Quick note here, they took the base. I'm going to try and get tank mines down and, get a cheeky tank kill at where their tank spawns. Another experience things is knowing where their tank spawns. And, I honestly, one of those points there, I may have taken the tank. I know I always hate on that. I may have taken the tank. But this is the last base now. They're pushing on us hard. The first thing you got to do, makes a good player knowledge. I'm just putting it in here. It comes into play later. If you guys stay tuned in the second part, tank mines. On defense, I have to run tank mines. We don't get a tank on this last base. It can be really tough. The first thing I'm going to do is put down tank mines. Second thing I'm going to do, and you got to put it down on the main entryways, obviously. I know they come center. I know they come left. And sometimes they'll go right. And that's where they end up coming here. And you really just got to be aware. This little clip here, just showing you some examples of the M4 and why I use it. The range is very important, but also the hip fire is good too. It's one of the guns that I use pre-patch a lot. I used it a lot, actually, honestly, until I realized that the stats were the same for the M4 and the M4A1, like, how many kills you get. Half my kills with the M4A1 are probably with the M4, probably a little less than half now. But, I barely cleaned up both of those guys, but it's fun, and it's really also a map awareness, watching people go down, and, being aware, hey, that Chopper's probably up, and he could be dropping people off. So, I hope you guys stay tuned for part 2. I think I'm going to go put down here in a second, just try and, stay with the team, and it's really pushing back because I'm anticipating, like, I see a lot of blue people around here, but I see people dying. I anticipate that there's people back here, and I get put down by a bipod. So I hope you guys enjoy this gameplay commentary. Let me know what you think makes a good player. Let me know any tips that you think could make me a better player, and anything you think works for you. So you see here, obviously, we're got, 40 tickets left, and we're down to 1 bomb site. So let me know whether or not you think we're going to hold it, and I'll see you for part 2. And if you got any questions or anything you want to see, and just let me know what you think makes a good Battlefield player, guys. I'll see you on the flip side, or on the battlefield.